We've talked a lot about the water inside with low flow fixtures and aerators, right, to make that happen, the low flow toilets. How are those working, by the way, the low flow toilets?
I know there's been some press and some questions about low flow fixtures from some high places, but we haven't had any problems with them. The toilets flush just fine. The shower heads get our hair plenty clean. So
And then you're not just thinking about water inside, and those systems work. And I have the same feedback. I drink the Kool-Aid, and my home's filled with all this equipment, and it works really, really well. Uh, but also, you're thinking about water use outside the home. And so you've thought through, like, how not to waste water waiting for the hot water to come. You've got these trunk lines coming off, or your manifolds, right? You have multiple manifolds. Maybe we get some shots of that. But you're also thinking about the water usage used on site, because you have this neighborhood and beautiful landscapes. And what are you doing for water on the outside of the home?
So we do a few things for water quality or water consumption on the outside of the home. We try and use a lot of native plants and plants that just really should be here. They're going to use less water and they're going to thrive a lot better in our climate. That makes sense, right? We do have lawns. People like their lawns, and grass isn't always going to be the most water efficient surface.
But kids love it,
Kids love
dogs
them.
like it,
Yeah.
it's nice to picnic on.
And it's a great feature to have. So part of what we do is we use lower flow sprinkler heads. And then another thing that we do is we hydrozone things. So we kind of batch up. That's kind of fancy talk for saying that we have plants on a zone and grass on a zone, so that we can have different amounts of water going to those, so that we don't have to water them all the exact same amount.
Because a tree is going to need a different amount of water at different timing than some of the plants.
Yep.
Right?
So we can control some of the water consumption by doing that. And then also we have this rain sensor. So we get some rain here in Oregon. So we have this little rain sensor outside that will collect the rain, and once it gets to a set level, it'll cause the irrigation to go into a delay mode and not be, you won't be driving down the street while it's pouring down rain
And watching the
sprinklers go. And at some point, because it has a level before it turns off, that can happen for a while. But it's a great water savings method.
Yeah, it sounds really smart and just remarkable. Everyone isn't doing it already. And so those things were in the site options. So that's a whole nother, right, of those 5 pillars. It just seems like an incredible amount of information you must have loaded in your beautiful brain there to be able to accomplish all of this stuff. And so it sounds like you're not doing it all on your own, and you've got a lot of great resources. And from what I've heard, is Earth Advantage has been a great partner in all of this. So they're here verifying, but it sounds like maybe a little different than some of the inspections you might get from jurisdictions. They're really here to kind of help you along instead of, it's more the carrot than the whip.
Yeah, so Earth Advantage, it is a ton for all of us to keep track of. And we have a really talented team, great subcontractors that all put this together. And then we have trade partners, and then we have allies like Earth Advantage who come in and they help us with instruction, they help us with accountability, and they're just that kind of backup for us to make sure that we're getting it all right.
All right, so you've got your checklists and your Earth Advantage certification, your platinum certification, which I should also contextualize and say that to get to zero energy or zero ready certification, you first need to achieve platinum. And so you kind of work up each one of those levels, and each time you're kind of checking off in the 5 pillars, all the good things that you're doing until you achieve platinum, and then you can take the next step and get to zero energy ready. And one of the things that you do so many great things about zero ready. And so I know I'm jumping around here. We've talked a bit about the solar ready systems down in the garage, and that you've got the pre-wired car charger, and you've already energy modeled the building and to understand how much solar panels you would need if you do want to go from zero ready, which is bringing the building down dramatically in its energy consumption, right? So that you can put enough solar on the roof to offset that electrical energy use, right? And so if you, in that process, I think you take it one step further. So if I'm a homeowner buying a new home, you're not only going to tell me, hey, we're ready for solar panels because we've got these conduits in the walls and they run up to the roof, and we already know how much solar you need. We also are providing you with what else?
So we have every homeowner set up with a consultation with a solar partner of ours. We're working with Neil Kelly. So every one of our customers has the opportunity to have a consultation, an appointment with the sales people over at Neil Kelly. And they sit down with them and they show them, these are the options that we have for you. This is how much it would cost. Um, we can show you what it means for you to have a zero energy system on your house, enough for that, or we can scale it back and you can say, I want to invest in this much. Or I guess you can go the other direction too when we have the roof space for it. And they can say, well, I have two electric cars. So can I charge my car and power my house? And a lot of our houses are actually able to offer that capability where you can cover all of your electrical needs for your house and then still charge a car for the year's worth of driving. So that partnership with Neil Kelly for us is important, not only as a service to our customer, but it helps us to plan things out better. Part of the Zero Energy Ready certification with Earth Advantage is showing an actual solar proposal. Because Earth Advantage isn't about any statements that can't be backed up or proven. That's part of the value of their certification. So to get that Zero Energy Ready standard, we have to build a really great home. It has to be up to that platinum level. And we have to then be able to show that we've done all that stuff. We have a solar proposal from a qualified solar contractor that could actually be installed on the house, no like hanging off the edges, impossible systems here, a viable solar proposal for that home to offset for Zero Energy Ready within Earth Advantage 90% or more of the annual energy consumption for the home.
That's really outstanding pre-planning, and you're really taking your sales pitch to another level too, right? I mean, it's kind of this system of accountability. And I was looking at one of your kind of flyer handouts, and you're really promoting this idea that, yeah, when we create these homes, we're going to meet these standards, and you've got Earth Advantage behind you saying, yeah, well, these are the standards, and we're going to make sure they meet them because we're going to go through the checklist with them. And you're providing that kind of whole thoughtful process so that the homeowner in the end is even getting to the level of, okay, not only do we predict your energy bills will be about this much, depending on how you drive that house, right? Similar to how fast how you get your miles per gallon, how you drive on the road. It's also how you use your energy at home. But we're going to target within that zone. You'll be 40% better than if you just bought the regular home off the market. But that's a big promise to make. And so I imagine that it takes a lot of effort to get all of your staff and employees kind of up to speed about what that means. And then there are your trade partners, your subcontractors that are doing all of this work and being thoughtful about it. How are you holding everyone accountable in this process?
Yeah, I would say a few great things happen by chance. Almost everything that's gonna be great in the world is gonna have taken a lot of planning and thought and work. So what we do is we plan everything out in advance. We think about the systems we're gonna do, what we're gonna do. We train our partners and our employees based on that. We have detailed scope of work files so that the subcontractors know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. We communicate in advance then, so there are no surprises afterwards. And then we have detailed specification sheets, and we do job walks a lot of times with people to go through and plan things out and think through how things are going to work. In addition to partnering up with our trade partners and subcontractors as we make new changes, all these things keep us rolling in the right direction.
And so those job walks, I'm imagining, is that happening just before they come in to start their work? And so you've already given them scopes of work, right? That's pretty clearly detailed. And if you just hand them those scopes of work and send them out to do their job, would everything go super smoothly?
Sometimes it might work out for you. Like some people are going to follow their checklist or go through the list on their own. But most of the time, a little extra communication and coordination, because a lot of things are coming together here. We have a number of subs. It's not like it's just one guy working slowly through the entire process. A lot of people have to communicate. So by coming together, talking things through, and then ensuring that we're checking and inspecting the work, as a builder, we do our own quality control walks and measures. That's going to make sure that we get what we say we want. Then the additional value that we have with Earth Advantage is that they're going to come in and they're going to be that extra set of eyes for us, and they're going to make sure that everything works. We train people, we learn a lot on our own, but Earth Advantage has incredible training opportunities. The Sustainable Homes Professional course is one of those opportunities, and we have sent most of our employees through it at different times.
Why would you do that?
So we can
That
talk.
sounds expensive.
It's a great value, honestly. There is a cost, but any investment has cost. But we're seeing the return on that investment in the knowledge and the excitement that our team can bring back from that. So we can spend a lot of time out here talking about stuff. We can go through the checklists, but for them to go through this comprehensive course with excellent instruction and a great kind of curriculum, they're able to kind of see this is why we do the stuff we do. And this is why that one thing I'm working on over here actually really, really matters, or this is why this step is so important. So it reinforces what they're seeing around them, and it gives them a sense of pride in what we're doing out here. They can go, wow, we're doing a lot of really amazing stuff, and by going through this course, we not only understand why, but we can go, yeah, we do that on our house, or yeah, I'm part of that. Beyond that, we're always growing and learning. So I'm not going to stand here and talk like we have all the answers or we're doing everything that can be done. So by sending our team through these courses, they're going to bring back fresh ideas. As a final part of the course, they take a final exam and then they do a final project. So we have our team bring that final project back to us, and they present it to our team after they've presented it for passing their course.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
So that creates a lot of great natural conversation, allows them to show off what they've learned, and it gets us kind of thinking about options and things that we can do as a team.
It seems like a constant process of learning, verifying, improving, and the results speak for themselves. Great work.
Thank you.
Okay, Mike, there's so many outstanding elements to these net zero energy ready, Earth Advantage Platinum, Energy Star certified homes that are utilizing WaterSense certified fixtures and Energy Indoor Air Plus. Like, I can't even think about all this stuff. And still, you have these exceptional elements that just go above and beyond every step of the way. And here we have, I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, this looks like it was a fully pre-cut frame. Is that true? Did you actually go as far as planning out this home that all of the framing comes pre-cut and packaged?
That's correct. You can see the builder's first source stamp on that framing there. We partner with them to use this optimized framing strategy, and all of the walls, all of the plans are taken into computer software, and they figure out how everything's going to lay out. They have these saws that operate based on that software, and they cut out the packs, they label them, and then they come out with a little book. So it's like a Lego set or something like that, where you have the instruction book and you have how it all goes together. So that saves some time on site for the framers. But the incredible thing about this is that because they're able to optimize the framing, we're cutting down on the amount of waste tremendously. When we first tried this out, we ran through and we worked with our trash hauler, Clean It Up Mark. They recycle all of our trash and take care of all that for us. And we said, we're going to do this trial. Let's find out how much waste this is going to save, and then let's talk about if there's going to be savings on your costs and savings to us as a result. And the scrap piles were noticeably smaller. It was definitely a difference. And the framers at first, it took a little time to get used to. And the team over at Builders First Source had some learning curves to work through. But it's working really well now, to the point where if there happens to be a house where we didn't have enough time to get it planned out for the optimized pack, or it didn't get ordered early for some reason, every rare time that has happened, the framers are like, wait, where's our optimized pack? We really want that.
When it started out, everyone's scratching their head, and now it's just the simple expectation. And so that really helps translate how all of this is put together. There's a series of really extraordinary pre-planning measures, and you're getting these homes built in like 5 months, right? So again, zero energy ready homes that are Earth Advantage Platinum certified, carrying all of these other kind of sub certifications and energy performance score also coming along with it, and this very thoughtful handoff process to your owners. And all of that is now seems like it's running like a pretty fluid ship. And so, how do you feel about that and the work that you're doing, and what kind of value do you feel like this brings to Noyes as an organization?
So being organized and planning everything out in advance keeps us efficient. We're able to tell our subcontractors before the house even starts. The carpet guy knows when he's showing up to install carpet. Everybody throughout the whole process knows where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there, what they're supposed to do. We're able then to deliver that to our homeowners in the same way. We can tell them as soon as we put the schedule together, even months before we schedule the house, we can say, this is your close date, house is going to be ready for you, and we're not going to be late. So it's a tremendous value to them, and something that people can just kind of note the reliability and the professional nature of our company. It takes a lot of people to make that happen, and we have great subcontractors. We have an amazing staff and team at our company, and all of them working together puts this house together in less than 5 months. And then a lot of that time is quality control at the end, making sure that the house is really done and ready to live in, but we're going to go through it really carefully at the end just to make sure that everything is just really dialed in.
Unbelievable. It's outstanding. I can only imagine that you must have seen this as an extraordinary challenge up front, and as you work through this in your career. Also, like, what are the big lessons learned for everyone here in this course to hear from you today?
So I think the great thing for me is there have been people before me who have been doing a lot of work to kind of put these systems together. We didn't have sustainable homes professional classes when I was working on this stuff, over a decade ago, but we had a lot of great resources. So I was able to draw on the expertise of other people, and I was able to really think through how things should be done, compare it to how other people thought things should be done, and pre-plan everything. Planning is critical. So as we've worked through that, we also wanted to say, how can we pay for a lot of this stuff? And Earth Advantage, as our verifier, was able to kind of show us Energy Trust of Oregon's money savings opportunities here. So our subcontractors were able to help us work with the efficiency and costs on the systems, but then we were able to use Earth Advantage's expertise to get incentives to do things. So we're actually getting paid to do things better. That's a pretty good setup. But in that, we've worked our way through that over time. Some things cost more, some things cost less that are better. And some of those costs that cost more, some of that's offset by those incentives, and some things aren't. At the end of the day, we have to look at it and say, how do we think this house should be built? What's the right thing to do? And we're going to invest in doing it the right way, even if that means sometimes it's going to cost a little bit more money.
Do you see that value translated to clients? And maybe on the back end, has there been improvement maybe in warranty or callbacks and that sort of thing through this process?
Doing things the right way the first time always saves time and money later. And so our warranty department is one guy who does it part-time because we have low callbacks because we put the time in up front. That was the case before we were building these high-performance homes, but it has actually improved even since then. I know people talk about the percentages in dollar amounts that people set aside for warranty, and when we ran the analysis on how much warranty cost we incur on average for a house, it was ridiculously low, like almost nothing for our costs out of pocket on every house because it's done right the first time.
Oh, that's fantastic. One half-time person on a development firm pumping out 50 homes a year is spectacular.